wondered why women are where we are now? It's an amazing history, and it's not just the last 200 years. Believe me, we've been on the planet for a really long time. Over 25,000 years that they can sort of count. I'm doing this in all white on a white background to symbolize the what's perceived as virginity. I'll talk about that in a second. But you have to go back over 2,000 years, over 2,000 years, to see how the imprinting began. And it's taken that many years to create the culturescape that we all live in. And I hope it doesn't take another 2,000 years to undo it, because it hasn't always been like this. This is a very big topic, and I'm gonna just cover a little bit of it because I wanna give you a little taste of what you've been imprinted with. Religion is very much center stage. It's a powerful energy. I'm not talking about spirituality, I'm talking about religion. And the fact that the Bible is the best-selling book of all time, it's remarkable given the vilification of women that we are still not barefoot and pregnant, all of us. But here's the thing. Contained in this biblical recording is a lot of information that has been passed down from generation to generation to generation. And as a child, going to Sunday school, I learned, first thing I learned, right? We're reading Genesis, that Eve was made from Adam's rib. Well, okay, so I'm gonna share what it says in the Bible, and I'm gonna keep my commentary a little bit polite. In Genesis, talk about Eve came out of Adam's rib. She was brought into being by this loving God to be his companion and helpmate and to keep him from being lonely. Well, literally, that sort of sounds like how we treat our men anyways, because they'd be lost without us, but that's a different topic. The message is, by this assignment as second mate, because that's what we are, we're like Gilligan on Gilligan's Island to the captain. We're the second mate. We're never going to be captain, and we are always going to be subservient. Then you learn that Eve was foolishly gullible and could be tricked by the promises of that scary serpent. Snake's got a bad name too, but in this story, Eve defied God and provoked Adam to do the same, right? Thus ruining this really good thing, this blissful life. It's all your fault. By the way, you are representative of Eve because you're a woman. She's a replication of women. But we ruined this really good thing, this blissful life in the Garden of Eden. So it's all our fault. Funny though, Adam was never accused of being foolish for going along with that plan. Sounds like women when they make men buy a house. They think they're making the decision, but they're really not. But they never discussed that about Adam's foolishness because Eve was the culprit, that evil Eve. And if you haven't guessed by now, Eve is the symbol who represents all women. She's representing you in this scenario. And somehow this blame is yours and mine and ours. And this loving God, this is the part that just gets me. I love Christianity from the perspective that Jesus' teachings. But Jesus also said, follow love, not the law. And this loving God that Jesus talks about, then professed throughout Christianity. And it punishes women by decreeing, this is what it says in Genesis, I will surely multiply your pain in childbearing. In pain you shall bring forth children. Your desire shall be contrary to your husband. But he shall rule over you. Genesis 3:16 if you want to look it up. Wow. And that's the beginning. And that's the stories that I heard in Bible school. And I thought, this doesn't make sense with this loving guy, this loving God. Jesus is talking about forget the law and only pay attention to the love. So here we are 2,000 years later, still believing that we need to bear children in pain. Really? There's not a lot of documentation about childbirth being painful prior to that, but we are supposed to suffer. And if this isn't penalty enough, instead of receiving compassion and sympathy or admiring respect for our courage to do this, you're going to experience this pain with guilt, the sin of wrongdoing, and punishment simply for being a woman. Did you hear that? You're going to suffer all of that simply for being a woman. You think that there's not prejudice in the world for things? I'm telling you, this has been going on for generations, for centuries, 2,000 years plus, because of this religious belief system. I'm not talking about spirituality, I'm talking about religion. And to make things worse, I am supposed to embrace the idea that men symbolized by Adam, in an attempt to prevent any more foolishness on my part as a woman, they have the right to control me as a woman and rule over us. That's the message, but it's been going on for a long time. It's no wonder we are where we are. And the strides that we've made have only happened in the last century. But here's the thing, these lessons learned in the Garden of Eden have been impressed upon us over and 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 over. And even today, there are women, I know them, I talk to them, that 100% believe that this is the gospel truth. Women are not subservient to men. That's a masculine construct that was created using religion. What happened is that religion was put into this book called the Bible, the Old Testament and New Testament. Even in the New Testament, when these disciples of Jesus wrote their books, Timothy said, "Let the woman learn in silence with all subjugation." In Corinthians, the man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. I got news for you. The history doesn't bear that out before this 2,000-year period started. Let the woman keep silence, is what he said. Not permitted to speak, to be obedient. Let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for women to speak in the church. And you wonder why we feel and the societal conditioning is the way that it is. So the point I want to make is that these constructs, these ideas, these beliefs are founded in something other than religion. I say that again. They were founded in something other than religion. They just use religion as a vehicle. And oh my God, everybody bought it. Oh my God. It was like they were lining up, like they were giving away free money. They were born out of power over. And if you begin to realize that God, the loving, omnipresent, omniscient oneness of the universe, would never, ever, ever decree anything like this, you can begin to take back your power. Yes, your power, your feminine energy. And the way that you do this is you question everything. Everything. When you begin to question everything, you start to unravel and pull threads of things out that sometimes I think, wow, how did I even get to this place where I learned this? But where do your beliefs come from? Question every belief that you have. Every day I question a belief, and oh my goodness gracious, it's almost fatiguing, but the fact is that it gets me deeper to understand who I am, who my authentic self is, my true God self. Are these beliefs the truth? Why are they the truth? If they are not the truth, what is your truth? It is no wonder women believe they have no power after generations of these ideas being read in Sunday school. This book that sells more than anything else on the planet is promoting it over and over. And yes, in the Judeo-Christian teachings, they all say the same thing. The Bible is replete with stories about women being subjugated to men. And this is the foundation of all of it. Here's my challenge to you is begin to look at how you believe. Are you not good enough? Do you need to look a certain way? Do you need to behave a certain way? Do you need to wear a certain thing? All of these ideas come from someplace other than your authentic self. Your authentic self knows the truth of who you are, which is a unique, individualized expression of the One. And when you begin to embody that and embrace all of your feminine joy and energy and qualities and intuition and communication and connection, we are going to make a shift on this planet to undo those things that happened over 2,000 years ago, to create power over women and power through the amazing energy that you already have instinctually inside of you. If you'd like to schedule a discovery call, there's a link in the first comment section of this video, and I would love to share with you how this is happening all over the planet. Queen of Magic out.